It's Let's Talk Call-In Radio. Yes.
Well, welcome back to the board, Paul.
Well, thank you so much. Yes, indeed. It's Let's Talk Call-In Radio. Let's talk every Thursday at 11. I'm Paul Raffel, in control. And joining me in the studio, Shelley Rugg.
Hello.
Stephen Hurwitz.
Howdy.
And, of course, our listeners.
So
one and all.
We're at 11 currently, but we are going to be moving to noon.
This is true. There is news afoot. In May, what is it, May 2nd? I don't know what the exact date is, but we're going to be moving to the noon hour. So there will be no excuse.
Ready.
You'll be at lunch. You won't be at work.
The coveted noon hour.
The coveted noon hour.
You just turn the volume up over the chewing.
Yeah, that's right. And you can always call in then. So
there you go.
Yes, it's going to be a nice move. It'll be, I can sleep in.
Oh, goody.
I can do another hour of homework the morning of the show, which is kind of what happens, which is why I know so little about the things that we talk about.
And what are we talking about today?
Oh, that's right. Today, we're talking about prosperity, which I thought would be an apt topic for Pledge Week at KWMR.
Very good.
A little non-profit station that could and has for 20 years. Well, longer than that, but 20 years on FM, on the FM airwave.
Fantastic.
We're going platinum. All kinds of people are wearing platinum wigs around here. I don't see the point of that myself.
It's a symbol.
I'm naturally platinum.
Well, yeah.
And well, I think we all are. Oh, yes,
I guess
all three
so.
of us.
Yeah.
Sparsely.
But so the whole point of this week, this 10 days that we are in the middle of, thank you so much,
Okay.
is to raise money for this little station. We only do this twice a year. We don't torture you too much. We just ask you to show your appreciation for the shows that all the volunteers here put on, and the skeleton staff. There's a staff of skeletons out there who are working their bones to the fingers.
They've got flesh on there. They're a good-looking crew.
Yes, there's some lovely flesh out there working for you, the listener. And this is a time when you can show your appreciation for all the work that everyone's doing here to keep you informed, keep you entertained, to bring you emergency broadcasts, live music, and more.
Absolutely.
Local news when we can. And the number to call, if you're going to, well, we know you're going to, when you want to pledge, is 415-663-9050. See what they did there? 90.5.
What's
Easy
our
to
goal?
remember.
We need to raise 500.
We only have a goal of 500. Come on now. That's
Well,
one pledge.
Let's double it right now. Okay, we need to raise $1,000.
I'm going to help here. Last pledge drive, I did a $50 matching grant, and I'm going to make that again, $50. This drive, I'm not going to beg like last time. So I'm going to say it, $50.
Not only
if we
will
hit $50, I'm going to match it.
Not only will your pledge go further. Thank you, Stephen.
That's very generous.
But you
Stephen.
could take home one of these fabulous headlamps for a $50
well,
pledge.
Now, yes, we have premiums, as always. KWMR headlamp, which is quite, I don't know if we have one in No, we don't.
We have a
Oh,
picture.
there's a picture of one. Let me show that to the microphone. It's a lovely thing. For a $50 pledge, you can, should you so desire, have a KWMR headlamp. For a pledge of $75, you can get a platinum wig.
Because everyone needs one of those.
We have 6 left. Apparently, they're flying out the door.
Does it have bangs?
Look here.
I want bangs.
There's a picture. Describe that to the people.
Oh, you know, it's a page boy in a sense, yeah?
Page boy.
It's sort of a long page boy. Parted
Do
down
they
the middle.
use that
Sort of
term
a Mary
anymore?
Tyler Moore thing with
Don't
platinum
they?
hair.
I've always been a sucker for page boys.
Oh, boy. Let's not get it. There's a subject for next week.
There's another, yeah.
Last
The number
week I
to
was
call when you're
confessing.
ready to give over the money.
Steven's a sucker for
415
page boys. Oh, sorry.
663-9050.
It must have been that Prince Valiant cartoons I watched.
What's
I see.
happening? What's
and
happening?
for $100 pledge,
We
you can also
Oh.
you can also get a hand turbine emergency radio. I have 2 of these things. They're great
So-
fun to play with.
We want to thank, of course, Stephen Hurwitz for his donation, and also Pat Holt of San Francisco just made a donation,
Oh,
and the fabulous Liberace.
really?
There
Yes.
you go.
Liberace.
We're off
Where,
to a start.
is she in West Marin when she is not on her show?
You know, I don't have the skinny on Liberace.
Where does she live? Nobody knows.
It's a secret, I think.
She lives in the air.
Fabulously,
On the
I'm
air.
sure.
She lives on the air. That's where she is. Thank you,
very
Liberace
good.
and
We also had Pat Holt.
Pat Holt. Thank you so much. That's lovely.
Thank you, Pat. You put me together.
So that means that with Stephen's $50 challenge grant, that becomes $100, and I think we're off to a grand start.
That's right.
If you-
400
Only
more to go.
900 more to go.
Oh,
I think-
I doubled our
Yeah,
goal.
We're just
you know, that's right.
the goal
Because
is infinite.
where we live, Marin County, is a very prosperous place.
Prosperity. Thank you for bringing that around
Yes.
to the subject.
And so there's someone out there listening right now who is so prosperous
Yes.
that they could shoot us $900, no problem.
Well, you
Exactly.
know, I think it's thankfulness really for the prosperity, and you know, it really surprised me when I read the blurb you wrote as to the fact that prosperity is measured in more than financial.
Wealth.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. When you look at it that way, we're an incredibly prosperous community in terms of
Yes.
environmental capital, social capital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are all kinds of things that we prosper from here. Yes, well, Marin County is the most wealthy, financially prosperous county in the state, I think. Yeah, I think I saw a chart with that on.
More than Sunnyvale?
I
that's-
think so.
Oh, that's
They all live
San
here,
Jose.
yeah. And of course, that's just one measure. But yes, you look out the window. I looked out the window this morning and I thought,
Wow, that's right.
look at this day.
Yesterday,
You know, this could be something great for our callers, our listeners to call in about, is things that make them feel prosperous.
Exactly. How do you feel prosperous? And if you want to call in, after you've called 663-9050 to make your pledge, of course, you can call in. You don't have to make a pledge to call in. Just call in, and we'll cajole you on air. 415-663-8492 is the call-in number to this very studio. And you can join this conversation. What makes you feel prosperous in the broader sense, perhaps? I don't think any of us in this room are particularly prosperous, and yet here we are in the midst of this incredible
I feel prosperous.
environment. Yeah.
I do, yeah. You know, if you're surrounded by good friends, if you live in an environmentally progressive place, I think we certainly have the advantage of nature here, in a broad sense. You know, I think it's it's contextual as well. I think that you could live somewhere else and be relatively, by our standards, you could be relatively disadvantaged, I suppose. But in the larger context of where you live, you might feel prosperous.
Yeah, it's an interesting way of looking at prosperity. As you said, social capital, all that kind of thing. There is a prosperity index that I found while doing a little homework. Not too much.
Really good work. When I read that, I was amazed.
Legatum Prosperity Index is developed to and sold to companies that want to know what's going on around the world, where prosperous people are. But they measure it economic quality, business environment, governance, education, health, safety and security, personal freedom, social capital, and natural environment. And, I think we're doing pretty well here. Business environment, I suppose. Tourism, the tourist dollars flowing into this place during the summer, and just us. Social capital, people helping others, relying on family and friends, volunteering. We're all volunteers here, except for 4 people who are mostly part-time.
People who, even paid people in a sense like this are volunteers. You can't. The skills people have, they could trade for a lot more financial capital.
That's true.
They do it out of love as well.
That's true.
Commitment.
I was thinking about how KWMR makes me feel more prosperous because of the opportunity to be on the radio, to have your own show if you want to.
Yeah.
It's really special. And you don't find that in every town.
Advantage. Opportunity.
It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And personal relationships bring a sense of prosperity, do they not? Isn't that a wonderful thing to have love in your life?
It's a wonderful thing to have a show where everyone's happy.
We're all happy today. We're not thinking about the broader picture. By the way, on the Legatum Prosperity Index, the U.S. came in 17th, just ahead of Slovenia and behind Belgium. Mm-hmm. A lot of, it was mostly European countries, New Zealand and Canada and the UK. Well, they are still in Europe, ahead of the U.S. But this was done last year. Some things have changed since last year, and let's see how the Legatum Prosperity Index ranks the U.S. in, say, 2020 after the elections. Anyway, give us a call, won't you? 415-663-8492 is the number to join this little discussion that we're having about prosperity. How do you feel prosperous in your life? And to make a pledge, a token of your admiration for the station as a whole, and for this show in particular, call right now, 415-663-9050.
We have some tremendous disadvantages here as well.
Do tell.
Rents, for example.
Yes.
Cost of real estate. I mean, that's something else that Marin County, for all its pluses, that's a big minus, and it might be because of the prosperity. Financial.
Well, of course, yeah. It's a wealthy county, and wealthy people want to live here, and so...
Yeah, but it's changed.
It's the market.
I think it's changed quite a bit in terms of when you say wealthy people want to live here. I think that I might be getting in trouble here, but I think that, there are people that are part-timers that are not making the kind of community commitment that people have made in the past.
Oh, yeah. Well, sure. That's absolutely right. We've talked about this before, the hollowing out of community by, people who are, certainly they're entitled to make a little extra money on their house in a beautiful place. Why not? Who wouldn't? Look, this is wonderful. Pat Holt, Liberace, Stephen, and Teresa Ferrari.
Wow, look at that number.
That's fabulous. I haven't checked that off.
Those are all our donors. Thank you, donors.
So far, $350.
See, when you don't beg, look what happens.
Thank you, everyone. This is marvelous. So Yeah, let's just don't worry about a goal for the show.
Only
We're just going
150 more.
Nah, let's just keep going because as a whole, the station's goal is only just over halfway.
Yeah, that's true.
To the $40,000
415-663-9050.
Call now. Make a pledge.
That's right.
Support this wonderful station.
Phone a friend. Ask them to
join the
pledge as
Calendar
well.
Club.
Oh,
That's a
yeah.
good way to do it. The Calendar Club is a great way for KWMR to receive donations because every month they know what's coming in. They have a secure feeling about the financial support that will come in every month.
Some stable revenue.
Stable revenue, exactly. And it makes everything much easier to plan. Like whenever we get to change these chairs out, that would be great. But,
And another great thing you can do with Calendar Club, maybe you're already a Calendar Club member.
Yes.
You can call in 415-663-9050 and up-level your Calendar Club membership.
Raise your membership. Yes, raise your donations every month. That would be a wonderful thing to do. And you can also just make a big donation.
You can.
What the heck? It'll
feel good.
You got that refund. Oh, did anybody get a refund this year? I don't know how that worked.
Well, I think one of the things that makes this such a special place is the artistic community.
Uh-huh.
I always say you can throw a 50-cent piece in any direction and hit an artist.
And who wouldn't want to?
No, I think that makes it for a very special place. Very special place. And you could expand that just the cultural facilities, cultural organizations, etc. Besides,
a lot of
visual arts, etc. Yeah.
A lot of nonprofits, community-oriented nonprofits who are helping this place be a great place to live. That's so trite, isn't it?
I think it's a lot of it is caring, right? It's a lot of caring about people in the community thriving.
Yes.
So there's a lot of support here.
You don't take it for granted because so many people live in really cultural deserts.
Yeah, exactly. They do. And where would that be? Certainly not Sandusky, Ohio, I'm sure.
Oh, no. No.
And we have a caller. Hi, caller. You're on the air. What's your name, please? And keep it clean.
This is Sally.
Oh, Sally.
Hello there.
Hello.
Good morning. And what a worthy show and a worthy cause.
KWMR.
415-663-9050 is the number to ensure the prosperity of this radio station.
That's right.
The continuing prosperity. We do prosper from all the memberships, from everyone, the underwriters, the people who bring Yummerton's food, and so forth. So I really encourage people to join the KWMR family, 415-663-9050. And now I want to get a little depressing about prosperity, lack thereof.
Debbie Downer.
Something that
if Paul isn't getting depressing, I don't think.
I don't feel like people talk that much about this. Or maybe they do, and I'm just not seeing it. But you know how the job numbers look really good in the United States? And the unemployment numbers are very low. But people are employed full-time but homeless. So how do you reckon?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then, of course, the really good job numbers are going to be shown in a particular light that is advantageous to the groper-in-chief. And so...
You're talking about me?
Hey, you two. Keep it clean.
Certainly not. I think we know who we're talking about. The corruption perpetrator-in-chief. And that's just my opinion, not the opinion of KWMR.
KWMR, worthy of your support. Call 415-663-9050.
Thank you, Shelley.
You're welcome.
But
Hey, Sally, I have a question for you.
Here. I'm in the middle of a Kvetch Fest,
Yes.
which is that how do we reconcile this? How do we really make it so that this country is more legitimately prosperous for a pretty large population who are struggling in poverty.
Right.
Let's just say, first of all, unemployment figures have always been bogus because of the way they measure them. They are measured by the number of people who are applying for unemployment benefits. You cannot apply for unemployment benefits after a certain period of time. You only have a certain period of time, then you're off the rolls. Suddenly you're employed. Oh, how did that happen?
I didn't really know that.
And the other thing is, yes, when someone's working full-time at a $1 trillion company that paid no taxes last year, Amazon, are you listening? And they still have to get food stamps, or they can't afford to live in a house.
Yeah, some kind of government support is needed.
Then you have to, it's time to say, raise the minimum wage everywhere, and make huge companies, very successful companies who are successful from the people who buy their products, which is the American public.
And who work for them.
Have them give some of the money back to the American public. That's not socialism. It's not, well, it is kind of socialism. It's certainly not communism. It's just capitalism with a heart.
Well, the rest of us have to pay taxes.
Yes.
And
yeah, I find it so relentlessly confounding.
Yeah.
I just can't understand why big corporations can't pay. I just really can't understand it on any level, except for the part where offshore. I mean, the only part I understand is the term offshore banking and loopholes, those terms.
Right.
But it's despicable, it's corrupt, it's unethical and inhumane. And so I guess my wish would be for the kind of prosperity where people can live in a way that, sure, they may be employed in a fast food restaurant and then they leave that job and go to, their job, mowing a lawn or caregiving for someone who needs. I mean, whatever
multiple jobs
are.
Yeah.
I would love to see people really actually compensated in a valuable way so that they too prosper and they're not being threatened by homelessness or living in substandard.
Yeah, money is really a hardship on so many people, and it's so unfair.
It's so sad.
So, what do you guys think about the universal base income?
That's a show.
Great idea,
itself,
I'd say. Yeah, we did a show about it. It's it's going to be unavoidable, unfortunately, because of automation, AI, robotics. We have someone very generous to thank. Rosalind Merrill. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And happy anniversary to Rose and George.
Oh, we have a new goal.
Happy anniversary. I'm going to go. I'm going to jump off. Thank you for this marvelous show.
Thank you, Sally.
Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who has given so far. This is a wonderful thing. We have blasted through our goal. We're going up to $700. That's our new goal. Let's
9050.
Let's just make it. Let's just make it infinite. Why set a line?
Limit.
415-663-9050. Or you can do it online, of course. You can always, at any time, night or day, wherever you are in the world, you can go to KWMR.org and hit the donate button, and there's a simple little form, and you can even say which show you support. Ha-ha.
Hey, even this one.
Also, you can always hit the Tip This Show button, which is also on the front page of the website. And that just means that you appreciate a show that has told you something or has engaged your interest or has entertained you royally or made you laugh or made you think. And you can tip this show with a simple, just an extra little donation. Anytime, anywhere, any day of the year. But right now we're in pledge drive, so we really need to ramp this up a bit. We're just over halfway to the overall goal. So 415-663-9050 is the number to call for pledges. And to join our conversation today, 415-663-8492. Please give us a call.
You know, responding to something Sally said, I have a couple of thoughts. One is $15 is not a living wage, even though they say living wage. It's not. And what's happened in the last, I think, 30 years is that Americans have not been paying the true cost of the products that they're buying.
Right.
True.
We've been keeping the products low by, in some sense, having the people that manufacture our products living in not just substandard, but almost in slave-like conditions. And we've enjoyed that. It's made us feel prosperous when, in fact, there's so many workers in the world that are living in misery. And so we're not paying our fair share.
A lot of things have to change, and I think we as consumers have to prepare ourselves to pay more for products because, this is why a lot of the companies take jobs overseas is because there's other countries where they don't have the same rules about how to treat employees and what kind of wages, and so they take advantage of that. So they're taking advantage of people, and we, the consumers, don't see that, and we don't know about it. But they're also taking jobs away. I mean, so there's no rules in place to limit how companies can do business, and
overseas,
yeah.
Unless they get pressured by the media, by investigating.
In the Bay Area, it seems that it's a mixed bag. One segment of the population becomes financially prosperous, which in another sense impoverishes, another sense, the pressure, for example, on rents. So many people, creative people, are leaving the Bay Area. They just can't do it. They're tired of living 3 or 4 people to a house, sharing just to be able to make rents. The rents are going up because there are people who are being paid enormous salaries in relationship to the rest.
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword.
It's never been this unequal, much
such a huge
income inequality, and it's not
divide.
getting any better, of course. On the other hand, in Brazil or in China or Somalia, where many things come from, Vietnam, where many products come from, especially clothing, prosperity is measured differently, of course.
Sam came back from Vietnam.
We are still the apex of the world. Except China is going to be the biggest economy. That's whatever that means.
Yeah.
Does that mean everyone's prosperous there? No, it means a few. There are a lot of wealthy people there, and the rest of them will be working to make our T-shirts.
My son, once removed, went to Vietnam last year, and he came back just marveling about the place. Actually.
There's the world, not just the prosperity index, but the happiness index, right? And it's never hardly. I think there's one country, isn't it, Denmark or Norway, that ranks as Europe's happiest, but the rest of it is mostly in developing countries because it's a simpler life. They have family. They can make ends meet if they work really hard all day, but there's still this simpler sense, whereas we just want more stuff and cheaper.
Yeah, but we also are really up against such a high cost of living right now, like never before.
Let's give people in our community a little chance here, though. I think that in terms of consciousness, many of the people that I know are conscious people. Their lives do not revolve around material acquisition. There are the things that make a community prosperous. I think there are more people probably per capita in the West Marin community who fall into that category.
Yeah, no, I think that's...
And I think that those kind of people are the people that support a radio station like this.
Just like this,
by calling 663-9050.
Thank you. And, of course, KWMR's Calendar Club membership is a monthly recurring charge of your choice, charged to your debit card or credit card. It affords you, the member, an easy way of contributing to KWMR, and it provides the radio station a reliable cash flow. Pledge Drive Week, running through April 21st, is the perfect week to join the Calendar Club or to increase your current monthly Calendar Club membership amount, because we have volunteers here at the station from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. waiting at the phones to set up or adjust your membership. We have a goal of gaining 20 new Calendar Club and 20 increased Calendar Club members during this pledge drive. We hope to count you in. You can join today through our secure website, kwmr.org, or you can call the pledge line at 415-663-9050, 663-9050. Do that now. And do it online anytime, any day of the year, anywhere in the world.
Yes,
and
John and Ira just did.
Oh, John and Ira.
Yes, thank you for your pledge to KWMR.
Thank you, John and Ira. Oh, some of our greatest supporters. Amazing. And we are also supported by our listener members, of course. That's you listening, you members who are listening right now. And I know there's at least 10 of you online right now. Give us a call, won't you? Marin Agricultural Land Trust, a member-supported non-profit organization working to preserve Marin County farmland, on the web at malt.org. That's MALT.org. There's an example. Oh, this is KWMR 90.5 in Point Reyes Station. That's an example, malt. There's an idea, these land trusts. That when it started out, there was a lot of antipathy towards it on behalf of part of the community that owned vast tracts of land, working land. And people say, it'll never work. It's like clam. People said, that'll never work. But, malt is certainly a successful operation in keeping farmland from being developed and keeping casinos from being built here and hotels and marinas and all those wonderful plans that were in place back in the 60s. Thanks to people like Ellen Strauss and other community members who got together and had this ridiculous dream of preserving Marin County farmland. And there it is. Now Sonoma's doing it, and all over the place they're doing the same thing. Yeah, prosperous.
Exactly. A prosperous place. 415-663-9050. Won't you give us a call? We need the goal. The goal is irrelevant, really. But we need $170 to reach the new goal. It's irrelevant because we need more than that. We need. I think we need about $15,000 to make the overall goal for the pledge drive. If you were to send $15,000 today, I'll shave my beard off.
Oh my goodness! Wow, that's exciting.
We've never seen what's under there.
I haven't seen what's under here for
check my savings account
since I was 18.
Wow.
So say that again. If we reach our goal today?
No, 15,000. If someone donates 15,000
during this show, right now,
it's not worth $170.
What about just the mustache? How much for the mustache?
That would be weird.
Maybe I could do mutton chops like I used to have when I was in high school. Oh no, in college.
You talked about the expansion, though. It seems like also prosperity breeds prosperity. Obviously, as the area is preserved, more people want to come here and enjoy the pastoral, and as that happens, more agriculture. Just Sonoma County.
More products are sold, more businesses are profiting from it.
The cheese, the wine.
If there are people who are financially prosperous in the world, they will buy things that will support other people and make businesses prosperous. I don't know how that got away from certainly the banks, and companies like Amazon and Walmart who don't pay their employees a living wage. If you don't pay people living wages that they can then, with a little
ridiculous.
dispensable income that they can spend on things, how are you going to sell anything? Hey,
it always comes back to the shareholders somehow. And so do we need to work on shareholders?
That's where I think raising the minimum wage benefits the corporate world. The more disposable income people have, the people that get a minimum wage are people that spend all their money. It's paycheck to paycheck.
Yes.
Right.
And so every dollar you get out there is a dollar that returns. And there's this, what is the rule of 6, where money changes hands 6 times before it ends up in the bank. So the butcher buys shoes for his son. The guy selling the shoes, pays rent, etc. It goes around 6 times. So every dollar put into the community comes back in 6-fold.
Of course. So, how did that get lost in the capitalism shuffle, in the predatory capitalism thing that we have now? What happened
is a number of years ago, and I can't remember clearly when, but there was a shift in terms of corporate values. There used to be corporate values, and prosperity, in a sense, was one of them. It shifted to shareholders. It shifted that the only thing important was return to the shareholder return.
Right.
And with that, all other things fall into place. So rather than hiring people in a community where you had a local business and they were proud that they were an integral part of the community, et cetera, well, they've been turned into bigger companies, been acquired, et cetera, so that you don't have the local ownership anymore. You don't have the connection to community. And the shareholder is what matters, and that's what keeps the stock prices up, et cetera. So you can gain value by lowering wages, doing more with less.
Yep. And you don't, what was that? Well, when they were given the big tax break last year, all these corporations, most of them said, we're not going to put these profits back into, building more factories or anything. We're just going to pay dividends to the shareholders. That's
it's a buyback is what it is. They just buy their own shares back, which increases the value of a share.
I was feeling so good until now.
Prosperity is the topic, and we'd love for you to...
Well, what are some of the other things on that list? That prosperity
8492.
9050.
Well, 8492 if you want to talk about prosperity and what makes you feel prosperous in this life.
Yes.
What were some of the other things on that list?
On that list?
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll check it out. It's right here.
I know one
economic
of the things...
quality. Not sure what. Personal freedom, freedom of speech and religion, national tolerance for immigrants and ethnic and racial minorities. I think we're not going to be number 17 anymore. The social capital sub-index includes the percentage of citizens who volunteer, give to charity, help strangers, and who feel they can rely on family and friends. The environment, safety and security. That's another one. I think we're more secure than ever now that our borders are closing and
oh, boy. Well, the freedom issue kind of popped out at me.
And health, too, by the way.
We always hear, America, land of the free, home of the brave. And that the military is out there fighting for our freedom.
Yep.
And
thank you for your service.
Right. And I struggle with that one because I feel like there's so many of us in America are actually losing some freedoms right now. In particular, minorities and women. As much as awarenesses are trying to be raised and changes made, the legislature seems to be chipping away at freedoms.
Well, that's been the agenda for a long time by certain segments of the legislature, but for the first time, they're in control. It hasn't been a secret what the agenda is, but somehow the Tea Party got control of government.
Well,
they were a fringe element that...
not so fringy after all,
not
apparently.
anymore.
And give us a call, won't you? 415-663-8492 is the number to call to talk about prosperity and your prosperity.
If you're a
and how
Tea
you
Party
feel.
member, call in.
And if you want
Give us a call. Tell
share
us
your wealth with
how
KWMR,
good you feel.
you would call 415-663-9050. Prosperity.
Prosperity.
I just don't want you to
health.
pick on Sandusky anymore. Can I just ask?
No,
What?
I don't know any other cities in the Midwest, that's all. I could pick on Flint. How's that? Charles isn't here.
There we go.
Speaking of Flint, health is one of the things. Who can afford? Can anyone afford health insurance? Obamacare, as they call it, is still sort of in effect, and they're trying their hardest to get rid of it. So, what happens then? I don't know. Prosperity.
Oh, well.
But meanwhile, we all live in a beautiful place, and the sun is shining, and spring is here. The apple blossoms are coming out. It's a fabulous time of year. I feel personally prosperous.
I think, you just made a list of all the things that can help bring us back to our center, our core, our reason for being alive on the planet, to enjoy all that good stuff around us.
Mm-hmm.
It's just hard when we're living in this capitalist society.
When you're living rent check to rent check,
yeah.
as they say.
Yeah.
When you live rent check to rent check, that means you're actually close to homelessness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are lots of stories of homeless people who just got sick, lost their job.
Yeah, my transmission is starting to die on my work van. So,
$15 an hour for full time is only $2,400 a month before taxes.
Right. Yeah. Oh, caller, you're on the air. What's your name, please?
Hi, this is Gail.
Hey, Gail.
Hi, Gail.
How are you?
We're very prosperous.
That's good. It's a very good show. Thank you. I first wanted to just commend Stephen for, a very clear, laying out very clearly how we got to this place, that it isn't just a random thing of people feeling less prosperous or making less money or not having enough money to live as well as they might like to.
Mm.
And, there's been a systematic concentration of wealth and power, which has, become impossible to ignore now, but has been developing over a long period of time. And, and it balances with something that I see a lot, which is just this notion. In other words, you always just have personal responsibility. It's always like, well, then you should get more education or get a better job or work harder,
Mm-hmm.
And so the two really play perfectly together. It plays into the notion, well, because, of course, the only person you can control is yourself, and the only, we all have this sense that we can't change the big picture. We can only just decide how we respond to it, whether we feel good, whether we live the way we want to. I don't really have an answer for it, but I think that there's a dynamic here that is it's really powerful.
Yeah.
Because it creates the conditions for these things to grow up and to grow. I mean, so maybe prosperity has to do with a sense of power, personal power, and a prosperous society might be one where people really felt that they were participants, that they were stakeholders in it, and now there's this drift, in a sense, between the haves and the have-nots, or I don't know, however you would describe it, but I don't know. Does that make sense to anyone?
Absolutely. It's been a whittling away, which is speeding up rapidly now.
Right.
Of, the poor deserve to be poor because they did it to themselves, right? And the wealthy need to get wealthier. That's the only way that's the only thing that will save the country. The trickle-down economy.
Right.
Yeah, that's the American way.
And the idea that having mass quantities of wealth means somehow you are a better person.
Speaking of which, how about prosperity, the prosperity gospel?
Absolutely.
Oh, dear.
This is the guy that has the largest home in America, I think.
Not just
What's
him.
his name?
Joel Osteen. American Theology. A it's an article. It says, The Long Strange History of a Quintessentially American Theology. That prosperity, you give all your money to this guy. Isn't this a definition of a cult? You give all your money to your preacher, and God will reward you.
I thought God helps those who help themselves, so I think you need to keep some of your money.
Blessed are the cheese eaters.
What about tithing?
Tithing, well,
Right.
yeah, it's always...
About the notion that, you know, the more you give, the more you receive. I mean, it's the same.
Oh, yeah. What was it? There was a little song we used to sing in church. Love is something if you give it away, give it away, give it away. Love is something if you give it away, you'll end up having more. For it's
Pete
just
Seeger,
like a magic penny.
Bleeding heart
Hold
liberals.
it tight and you won't have any. But give it all to KWMR and you'll feel like a king. 415-663-9050.
Is the number to call to donate.
Would have brought my guitar had I known.
No. I don't know what it is. It's like the wealthy, not all of them, of course, you know, but we have to just generalize a little bit. The super wealthy want a feudal system, I guess. They want to live like kings and have peasants at their beck and call.
Oh,
And,
yes.
you know, those were the good old days.
There's this awesome
Make
episode.
the UK great again.
On Star Trek, the original, old Star Trek. It's called The Cloud Minders. I recommend that everyone watch this old episode of Star Trek, The Cloud Minders, and it's about this very topic. You have the wealthy elite who are educated and love the arts and beauty, and they all are healthy and thriving and,
worthy.
And they're actually floating in a cloud above the planet. And the people on the planet are the worker bees who must... do all the work so that the elite can have this beautiful life.
Yeah, of course. Well,
There goes my description of West Marin. Oh.
And
Thank you very much.
Some really great quotes in there, really philosophical, thinkings by Spock.
Live long and prosper.
You've got to see the episode.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for calling in,
Hey,
Gail.
thank you. And
Gail.
it's
Thank
on the
you very
archives
much.
that you said those nice things about me.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Every bit of
It's
true.
recorded for posterity and prosperity. Thank you, Gail.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Look
Yes,
at that
call
headlamp.
415-663-9050. Let's shine a light on this. Oh,
This is really cool. This is a KWMR headlamp,
headlamp.
and it says KWMR right there.
Right on it. It's
On
got the
it.
logo on it. For a pledge of only $50, you can get this marvelous LED headlamp.
I'm trying to see how... Maybe it needs batteries.
Yeah.
I got one.
Okay. Or a platinum wig, should you be that inclined, for $75 pledge.
You
And
can aim it.
emergency radio, the all-time favorite Eton FRX1 hand turbine emergency radio. $100 pledge will get you one of those, should you so desire. But you don't need to have gifts given to you. You can just pledge and appreciate the gift of radio, community radio at its finest.
A
This
mere
little jewel.
15,000, and we'll get to see Paul's face.
And, I don't think you should take this station for granted because
Yep.
most of the stations that we listen to, with a few exceptions, are commercial radio. They've got one focus. You hear the same thing over and over. This place is, in a sense, eclectic. There is a very wide variety of programming. It's very personal. Because of that, there's really every community has something. Not every community, but many have something like this, but we have one. And it's not something you can take for granted. It makes it for unique. You can listen to this anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world that you can stream. So we could potentially have a worldwide audience.
Yeah.
So if you have something to say, we do offer. You have certain power, a sense, the power to publish, the power to broadcast. So this gives people, it's something enormous. I just don't take this for granted.
And what if it weren't here? I mean, maybe you don't listen all the time, but there are times when everyone wants a little information, like when their houses are burning on the hill above them. They'd like to know what the latest update is, and this is the place that you turn to. We are on the air 24 hours a day. And even, with an emphasis on local programming, on local people producing their own programs locally, including Professor Cosmo, who I'm not sure where he lives, but he puts together that compilation of music that plays all night. And
what a guy.
And during times when there's nobody else on the air.
She may be Professor Cosmo.
I was just going to say, wait, we don't know, do we?
Yeah, we don't know.
Mystery.
Cosmet.
Well, time is running out.
Running low. We
only need $170 to make our goal.
$170 to make our new goal.
15,000.
15,000. I will shave my beard off.
Oh, we got another donation.
Oh, it's a donation for $15,000 from
Wendy Freifeld.
Oh,
Wendy.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you, Wendy. That's very nice of you. Another wonderful person who lives here and has helped make this place a prosperous community.
Absolutely.
A place in which you feel good about the people who live here.
All right.
Yep.
Where's Charles when you need him? with the other point of view.
Well,
No.
It is interesting.
He's mellowed, by the way.
That we have homeless people here in this very prosperous place. And it boggles the mind, like, how do we solve this problem? I was talking to a homeless guy, and he said that he spoke with another homeless person who said he lived in Point Reyes homeless for 43 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Amazing.
43 years.
Yes.
Where, do we know where?
They're tucked away all over. Gail actually adopted a homeless person.
Near the Green Bridge, for sure.
And she saw him through all sorts of hardships, into housing, all through medical care.
Well, see, now that's a beautiful thing.
Well, those are the things that make this a great community, people that do that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And those who support this station, this wonderful little non-profit station.
415-663-9050.
Keep us on the air. The people in power are looking at ways to cut out little stations like this because we're just trouble. Especially now we're all on the web and we can be heard anywhere. And the Corporation for Public Broadcasting is a government-funded organization that supplies grants to little stations like this and to KQED.
I think one of the alternatives is that I think religious programming, I think in many ways, they're trying to capture all the wavelengths. So, that was certainly a worry 20 years ago, when we were trying to set this up. They were actively searching the public radio waves, the bottom end of the dial, so that, yes, this could have been an evangelist radio station. Just imagine that. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it? Great hymns. And snakes, too. So to keep that from happening, in tongues,
please call.
There'll be a Speaking in Tongues program.
415-663-9050 is the number to make a donation, and 663-8492 to call in the last few minutes here and give us your thoughts.
Could I do that? If I wanted to have a program Speaking in Tongues, could I set that up?
Well, you have to run it by Lions,
Ask the programming director.
I got it.
What would be what is the nature of your show?
You're going to do this for
Speaking in Tongues.
A whole hour or just a half-hour show?
All night, if you can.
Night.
Oh, all night. Oh, well,
wow.
Instead of Cosmo, well, you could do that. I'm sure there's a 2 a.m. slot that you could do
That's something.
For a little while.
If you donate now, I won't do that.
Oh, okay. What do we got? 170 to go. Quick. Send it in so that we don't have to listen to Speaking in Tongues
15,000 and Paul shaves his beard.
$15,000. I'll shave my beard. You got
let's
5
see.
minutes.
500,
can
and he
I
cuts
do?
off half of his mustache.
No. I will not make myself a laughingstock for money, but I
Half of
will
his mustache.
shave off my beard for $15,000 donation to this program, to this station.
4.5 minutes to go to make this happen.
You can do it. Check with your financier first.
But we would love it. 415-663-9050. And any last thoughts on prosperity? 663-8492. Call in and let's hear how you
measure
feel.
prosperity. How do you measure prosperity in your life?
I mean, I personally don't feel financially prosperous right now. I feel like I'm moving towards it. So that feels good. It's the feeling of all the hard work starting to pay off.
Nice.
But am I making enough money to pay my rent right now? No. Yeah, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
So, having to lean into money that could be what I need for my retirement, right? So I don't really think about retiring so much.
Well,
Nest eggs.
You're
we
right,
have
though.
nest
Financial prosperity is a cornerstone, I think, to prosperity. If you can't make it financially, then it doesn't matter who your neighbor is, and
Yeah. It's
tough.
poverty
It's tough.
is a game changer
yeah.
Well,
in
it's
every way. From
ability
healthcare
to be resourceful sometimes, so we might not have a lot of financial resources, but we might have other resources that we can tap into.
Right.
And
Certainly around here, there are programs and organizations that are there to help people. And one of them is this radio station in its own way.
Yeah.
415-663-9050.
Let's squeak in the next-
$15,000
yeah.
and I will
The
shave
next
off my
3
beard.
minutes, can we get one more to squeak in here?
yeah.
I'll do it. I'm not afraid to
A fairly
prostitute
substantial, substantial beard we're talking about here.
It is. It's been more substantial, but it's getting a little thin. It needs a trim.
It's almost 50 cents on the hair.
People won't recognize me. I
Shelley,
have no
can we
chin
get you to
under
dye
here.
your hair
What color?
black
Platinum?
and with bangs?
Black. Yeesh.
Black and bangs. How about that?
I would go for a color.
Oh, okay.
You could give me fuchsia hair or
Fuchsia.
turquoise hair,
There we
but
go.
black. I'll end up looking like a skunk in no time.
Well, so give us a call. Well, no, it's too late to call for the conversation now. Sorry. Thank you for calling in, everybody that called in, and thank you for listening. I know you're out there because I can tell you're there. And thank you to everyone who donated during this show. I guess you've got a minute and a half left. If you call in with a pledge of $15,000, I will shave my beard off.
And you can recognize the show.
415-663-9050.
Even though we're off the air, you could call in when you call 663-9050 and say, hey, I listened to Let's Talk.
That's true.
Because coming up in the next program, you won't hear any requests.
Right.
And
yes, you can always nominate a show if you want to, or just it's the station that counts. The station. If the station weren't here, we wouldn't be here. Anyway, thank you, everybody. KWMR does not take a stand on any of the issues discussed on Let's Talk. Opinions expressed on this program are those of the hosts and callers and don't necessarily reflect the views of KWMR, its board of directors, underwriters, or members. Thank you, Shelley.
Thank you, Paul.
Stephen. Thank you
Been a
to
pleasure.
everyone listening and pledging today. You're all wonderful, and I feel very prosperous.